Today's conversation is with someone whose message has reached thousands of people searching for direction, confidence, and purpose. My guest is a speaker, creator, and two times best-selling author who built a platform centered around mindset, discipline, and perspective. But behind the content and the message is a journey, seasons of uncertainty, internal battles, and the process of turning personal lessons into words powerful enough to help others. Today, we are going beyond the screen. We are talking about the person behind the platform, the battles behind the growth, and what it truly took to become both the messenger and the author of his own story. Please welcome Jose, also known as Jose Spires on Instagram.
Thank you, Victor, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me hang out with you and your audience today, man.
I appreciate you, brother. It's truly an honor to have you here with us, man.
Thanks, bro.
So let's start from the beginning. Before the platform, before the message, who were you?
Man, I was just a little Puerto Rican boy from the Bronx, New York, growing up in the concrete jungle, trying to figure life out. And I had a great childhood. I have SMA type 3.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed when I was 3 years old because my mom noticed there was like a slight limp when I walked. And when I would fall on the floor, I didn't get up like normal, 3-year-olds get up. And so they noticed that it wasn't going away. So they took me to the doctor to get me, checked out. They did a muscle biopsy and then they diagnosed me with SMA. And so, but like I said, I mean, other than that, I had a great childhood. I was able to walk and run. I did all the things that healthy young boys can do. And when I got into high school, that's when, I started to feel my body changing a little bit. Things started to become a little more difficult. You know, when you have SMA, it feels like, if I can describe it, it feels like you're moving around with extra weight on your body almost
Absolutely.
as the condition starts to progress. And so, bending over to tie my shoes, bending over to pick one leg up and put my leg in my pants, or lifting my arms up to put my shirt on, things like that, just basic life things started to become a little difficult for me. And, not that I couldn't do it, it just felt like, again, like I had like a little weight in my arm to pick it up. It felt like a little more challenging. And, back then I was kind of like a little in denial because I didn't feel SMA at all until I got to high school, really. And I was a little bit in denial. I didn't want to accept it, but I knew it was there. And so I just kind of kept pushing through it, like thinking like if I don't acknowledge it, maybe it'll go away.
Yeah.
Or I won't really notice it. But the reality is that it kept on progressing and as things started to get more challenging for me. And so like my high school years and then even after high school were very difficult for me because when you're in high school, that's when you're trying to like figure out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do with your life. And
Mhm.
the doctors that said that I'd be in a wheelchair by the age of 15, that didn't happen. And then they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years.
Yeah.
And so, that was what a lot of SMA, in my age bracket, that's the type of news that we got when we were younger, because I'm a 70s baby, so there wasn't a lot of information about, SMA or the different muscular dystrophies that were out there anyway. So, but yeah, I moved from the Bronx, New York to Florida when I was 22 and back in 2000. And that's when I lost my ability to walk. Shortly after that, like a couple months later, I lost my ability to walk. And now I'm in this dark place and I'm like, man, what am I going to do now? I'm living with my parents. I'm like, my parents are going to be my caregivers the rest of my life. No,
Right.
no woman is ever going to love me like this. I just started beating myself up mentally and just going down that dark rabbit hole.
Right.
And I was there for a couple years, but I've always been like an encouraging, upbeat, outgoing type of person. And that probably lasted about, I would say maybe 3 or 4 years the most, where I was feeling down and out and like defeated, basically.
Yeah.
Until I realized, and then at that time I was also on disability. I was getting disability checks as well. And then that's when I quickly realized that, the hustle in New York is not the same hustle in Florida. It's two different worlds. And
Mhm.
so I was like, man, I gotta go and get a job because this $863 a month, this not doing it for me. So I went and got a job, and that started my corporate America career. And I was in corporate America for 20 years before I started my own company back in 2018. So
Wow.
not too long ago, about 8 years ago. And and yeah, man. So that's just basically my life journey in a small little nugget.